appreciation goes to Honorable Minister for accepting our invitation and availing herself for our very important event of Eid.
Last Friday, Saturday and Sunday, people across the world celebrated Eid. Muslims across the world celebrated Eid. And I'm sure you all celebrated Eid at your own homes. But at this point, I'd like to commend the school and the management and the staff for making sure that the school celebrates Eid as one big family. And your head teacher did say that I was very impressed with your national anthem. That was full force Nandro power. Yeah? Early in the morning, full force Nandro power. It's a Wheat-Bix, huh? Yeah? I'm sure you ate the Wheat-Bix, did you? Yes? Okay, thank you very much. Madam Head Teacher, thank you very much. Manager, thank you very much for having me here with my team. As mentioned by the previous speaker, he spoke about Eid. What is Eid all about? Eid is all about us here today. It's about celebrating together. It's about understanding each other's cultures. It's about respecting each other, and to see the children perform the last poetry. That's the true spirit of multiculturalism that we want Fiji to be. And so thank you very much for that. Madam Head Teacher, I do record your school's activity reports, and I must say that you and your team, with the support from the parents and the management, are doing a great job in trying to bring about the holistic education that we are trying to. Oh, before I forget, your teacher here is my student, was my student, and Dr. Amos is a student of your Madam Head Teacher. So it's like a Eid reunion for us, eh? So it's really good to see. I mean, I'm always pleased to see my students making a name in the community. So, congratulations. Again, like I said, coming back to Eid, whether it's Diwali, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Easter, any other festival that we celebrate in Fiji, basically promotes a very the very spirit of multiculturalism. And I think we all should be proud of the fact that we live in a country where we freely practice our cultural practices, where there are no restrictions on one culture over the other. We are all treated equal. And how do we take that forward? It's through these children. We must always teach our children, whether it's in the school, whether it's in our home, whether it's in our community gathering, we must teach our children that that's the way we want our country to be. That's the way forward, no other way. We must learn to live with each other, regardless of who we are, regardless of which culture, which religion, which faith, which God we pray to. Because I'm sure all our religions teach us to respect one another, to love one another, to care for one another. Okay? Whether they're children, whether they are parents, whether they are elderly, whether they are sick, that's very important. And so my message for the parents here, to those who can understand what I'm trying to say, is let us all promote multiculturalism. Let us all promote the unity that we have in diversity. We may all look different. We may go to different temples and pray to our different gods, but we must be united in that, and we must learn to live with our neighbors peacefully. We must learn to live in our community peacefully, and we must learn to live our fellow Fijians peacefully and create that new Fiji that we as a government want to take forward in future. So your presence here, your taking time out here to be part of this Eid celebration is a clear indication of the fact that we are moving in the right direction. We're very positive about these things. Okay? We cannot be divided. We are trying to create one Fiji, one people, and that's what we must instill in our children as well. These will be the ambassadors for peace. I normally use children as ambassadors and champions for good health, because these are the very generation that will bring about the changes that we want, not only in our mindsets, the changes that we want in our health, basically coming down to health. It's, like I said, full Nandro power this morning. Sigatoka people are, I've been told, very, very healthy and very happy. This is one of the hospitals, believe me, let me put it on record. This is one of the hospitals where we rarely have any complaints coming from the public. And I'd like to thank the SDMO and his team. This is one, and I'd also like to put on record the support that we get from the Fiji Hoteliers Association when it comes to our Sigatoka hospital. One of the cleanest, one of the best managed hospitals, and I always say this publicly, I wish Sigatoka is seen as a role, not a role, as a model for the other health facilities. And it all talks about management. Coming back to that, if I look around your school, the school environment, the cleanliness, again speaks about leadership. And credit goes to the teachers, the head teacher, the management, and the students for keeping that environment clean. Why am I talking about environment? Because a lot of issues that are related to health has to do with environment, has to do with cleanliness, has to do with how clean we keep ourselves, how clean we keep our homes, how cleanly we prepare our food and stuff. Everything that we put in our mouth, even our hand if we put it in our mouth, carries bacteria. And many a times we don't realize that. A simple cough in the public airspace can lead that bacteria being contracted by somebody else. Your head teacher mentioned about meningococcal C, MEN-C, how we are going to vaccine close to 336,000 plus children from 1 year to 19, and that is free from the government. And that is because, okay, too much eat sweets, huh? So, to the parents here, this disease, this outbreak that we call MEN-C, meningitis C, is deadly. I said this in Tagwa a couple of days ago. It has killed 5 people already. And that is something that is spread from person to person. Okay? There are symptoms of it. The nurses and the medical staff have been trying to promote that. Any difference that you see in your health, excessive coughing, fever, sudden vomiting, nausea, headache, the fact that you can't see the sun is signs that something is wrong. You must take yourself and you must take your children to the nearest health center, because if detected early, meningococcal C, that we call the virus that's around, is treatable. Okay? It's treatable, and we've been doing that since the outbreak in March 28th, declared an outbreak. That means the danger is still there. The danger is still there. So if you are coughing, anybody who's coughing, you need to put a cloth over your mouth. If you have headache, sudden fever, vomiting, nausea, etc., sign like dengue fever sign, please report to your nearest health center. Okay? If you present yourself very late, then of course this disease is deadly. And like I said, we've lost 5 people this year. So the vaccination program that the Minister of Health, the government of Fiji is undertaking for children between 1 and adults up till 19 years old, like I said, it's going to be free. In the next 3 weeks, we are hoping that we will start, we are expecting actually to start the vaccination in Sigatoka, right? Your children will be vaccinated in schools. However, you'll be given a consent form. The consent form is going to ask the parents and guardians to agree to the vaccination. Should you say no, I don't want my child to be given that injection, we will respect your wishes. But I'd like to strongly urge all the parents, when you go back to your communities, please spread the word. Vaccines are safe, effective, and they have been found to be effective by WHO. And so far we have vaccinated close to 100,000 children in the Greater Suva Central area and the Western Ras subdivision. So now we are expecting the next batch of vaccines to arrive in the country within a week. And upon its arrival, we will come down to your Western division and start vaccinating. Kindergarten children, primary school children, secondary school children, children in tertiary schools or adults in tertiary schools below 19 years old will be given that vaccination free. Okay? So please make use of this opportunity. We have brought in those vaccines at a high cost, and we want to vaccinate our children. However, this vaccination does not protect you for life. It doesn't mean that you're going to get this vaccination and all your life you will be safe from meningitis C or men C. There could be a different strain coming. Okay? So this will give you protection to about 2 to 5 years. Maximum 5 years you'll be protected. But the most important thing here is to understand we can prevent this from getting to us. Simple practices, like I said. Early signs, you must understand what the early signs of that is. Going to the medical centers to get the antibiotics available, which give us that. So the first line of treatment is antibiotics, and the last resort is vaccination. Okay? And sharing of children, please make sure your children don't share water bottles and food, anything where there's an exchange of saliva. Sometimes when you are sick, what do? You spit, and the saliva falls on the floor. Your little child will crawl on the floor and maybe touch that saliva with the hand, and then that hand the child can put it inside his or her mouth. That's how it happens. Sharing of kava bowls. You know, somebody is sick and then you use the same billow to drink kava. So especially for men, if you sit around kava bowls and you drink and you share your billows, that's another way that infection can pass from one person to the next. If you are sick and you have a sore throat, you have cough, you have fever, you should abstain from kissing each other. I have to say this publicly. This is for the adults, huh? No deep kissing. And people laugh, but unfortunately that's the truth. So you need to be very careful and you need to be aware of what meningitis C, meningococcal disease is all about. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is dengue fever. We've just declared dengue fever outbreak over because our numbers have come down. But that still doesn't mean that dengue fever cannot be contracted by anybody. Keep your environment clean. Keep the gutters, anywhere that holds water, please. You need to keep your environment clean. Communities need to keep, because mosquito doesn't know your home and my home. Your drains may be dirty and a breeding place for mosquitoes, but it doesn't mean that mosquitoes will only bite you. They will come and bite everybody else. So it has to be a community effort. It has to be everybody getting together to ensure that we prevent these outbreaks from coming. Okay? And people have died from dengue. Please understand it. We don't want people losing lives to something that is within our hands. Apart from that, again coming back to eat and healthy living, I believe that each one of us should be responsible for your own health. The role of the government is to ensure that we have facilities, we have HR, we have medicines, we have equipment, but most of us can prevent ourselves from going to the hospitals. If we choose to eat right, if we choose to eat the right amount, if we choose to eat the right type of food, if we choose to eat at the right time. Okay? Breakfast, your head teacher said children travel from far places, but parents, please make sure your child has a proper breakfast. We need to eat breakfast like a king. Good, balanced, healthy breakfast. But what do? We rush through breakfast, we rush through lunch, and we have a big dinner, and then we go and modemanda. We go and sleep. No exercise. A little bit of tweaking or changing our lifestyles is definitely going to keep us away from a lot of lifestyle diseases. Diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular diseases, or heart attacks are killing our people. And at many a times, you say it's our responsibility. Yes, it's our responsibility. But you need to play equal part into that. What you put on the table for your children is dependent on you. If you look at Fiji, we have so much space that every family can at least grow a little bit of their own fruits and vegetables. Green leafy vegetables, bell egg. A lot of things that we can do. So like I said, let's change our lives a little bit, become more conscious about healthy living. Again, if we talk about healthy living, we are talking about how much sugar we take, how much fats we take, how much salt we put in our food. Okay? So, Minister of Health says SOS. Normally SOS would be save our souls, huh? But in this case, it's save us from salt, oil and sugar. So, fresh fruits and vegetables. Our markets are full of Sigatoka. Sigatoka Valley is the salad bowl. So everybody in Sigatoka should be making use of the vegetables and everything that's available in Sigatoka. So please, it's my humble plea, look after your children, okay? We don't want children getting diseases or even we don't want people dying from these diseases. At the moment, Fiji is ranked very high in terms of deaths through diabetes. Fiji is ranked very high in terms of deaths through cardiovascular disease, kidney failures. There's so many complicated diseases that we are faced with. And if we all took a little step, if we all took a little bit of time to say, look, my health is important, my family's health is important, I'm sure we will be able to combat this battle that we are currently facing. Okay? I'm not saying you don't eat the sweets and the semai after this. What I'm saying is sometimes when we eat too much, we need to burn those calories off. Take a walk, exercise regularly. If you are on medication, please take your medicine regularly. Need to visit your doctors for clinics. Sometimes you resort to the health centers very late. And then there's other complications, you know that. There's so many complications. You lose your job, you can't walk. Your business suffers, your family suffers, your children suffers. When people die, you lose a income earner. A lot of complications there. Okay? So I'm sure the audience is very smart here, and we will take heed. And should you need further medical advice, please let your school management and the head teacher know. We'll send down a team, and they can talk to the children and maybe more community awareness about healthy lifestyle. But again, coming back to this celebration, thank you once again. Thank you once again for having us here. Thank you for being here, especially the parents and the guardians. It's wonderful to see so many people turn up in true spirit of multicultural Fiji that we have. So on that note, before I forget, you know, the girls were here and they were hugging each other. That's what we do in Eid. And when you hug somebody, you hug them with the heart. And when you wish somebody Eid Mubarak, you do it with the heart. Let bygone days bygones. You may not be happy with somebody, but in celebrations like this, if you have problems with people, forgive them, move forward, and see how little changes will make difference in your life. Be happy and be healthy. Okay? Thank you very much.